Hello and welcome to Old Railway Line Garden Centre's Gardening Advice. I'm here joined with Keith, and I'm Johnny, Matthew's better looking replacement. So what's there to do in the flower garden today then, Keith?
Oh, plenty to do, Johnny. That'll teach Matthew having time off when we need to make a video.
Yeah.
But we may see him again, we'll see. A bit more to do this month than January, but less than in March, because it really gets going in March properly. But I say most months it's perfectly possible to plant. Yeah. These container grown plants really can be put in at any time of the year. Autumn I think is the best time, but if you miss that, and many people do, then the earlier in the year that they go in, the better, because they'll make good root before the difficult months of it's hot and dry. That will come, I'm sure. And that's the most dangerous time for a new plant, the first summer. So if you can get them in earlier, so much the better. If you put them in a bit later, you have to do a little bit more work with the watering through that first summer. We've also got bare root plants at the moment. They won't be around for much longer. February really is probably the last good month, but into March if the weather holds. They need to be put in before they come into leaf growth, so that they can make good root before they get demands on them. So bare root hedging, we've got plenty of them in. It's a very economical way to plant a stretch of hedge, and we're selling hawthorns at 50p each, and most of the others are around about £1 each. So you can't get plants much more cheaply than that. No. But you can only plant them in the dormant period.
Yeah, right. So let's sum it up. So there's planting.
Yes, planting.
And so that's the small little plants there,
well, and all the bigger ones, the trees,
all the bigger ones,
shrubs, soft fruit trees. They can all go in now.
What about covering them over the soil? So that's
it's something I like to do in February. In the beds and borders, you can see what's coming through. You can see where the bulbs are. The herbaceous plants haven't started growth, so you can get a mulch, which is organic matter of some sort, down onto the ground in the gaps around the plants. It's good for soil fertility. It will help hold moisture through the dry periods. It's just good for the soil generally. And we're talking about bark, or your own compost, or leaf mould if you made it last year or the year before, or old compost if you've got some spent compost in pots or grow bags and you think, I don't want to use those again. They're perfectly good for the garden and will improve that soil over a period of years. So mulching is a good thing to do in February on a nice, a drier, warmer day. Right. It does a lot of good for the soil.
Yeah. Okay. So you spoke about planting the bare root hedging. What about some hedging plants which are already existing now? Is there anything?
Yeah, it's not really a time for cutting hedging, but if you've got an old, say, hawthorn hedge or privet hedge, and you want to rejuvenate it, then you can cut it pretty hard at this time of year, and it will do good, and a lot of good. The other pruning to do now, it's too early, I think, for roses, but clematis, because they come into growth really early. We're looking at ours this week, and they've got spindly little stems, and then you can see these buds are raring to go. And the late flowering clematis, the ones that flower from June onwards, the larger flowered, they flower on the wood that they're going to make in the next few months. And if you let them just do their own thing, they'll flower really high up, and you miss most of the flowers. So you need to prune those now to about 3 feet to a nice pair of strong buds. And you'll see a lot more flower for it in this coming year. But don't prune the spring flowering clematis. If you do that, you're going to cut this year's flowers off, and you'll be disappointed.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Keith, and let's see what else you've got in store for us.